Hey everybody, Tim here, former young adults intern and current poster of memes. This is day 2 of our young adults devotional series. If you want to grab your Bible, open it up on your phone, we're going to be looking at Matthew 26, verse 36 to 56. So I'm just going to read it for us and then give a little thought. Then Jesus went with them to a place called Gethsemane. And he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." And taking with him Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee, he began to be sorrowful and troubled. Then he said to them, "My soul is very sorrowful, even to death. Remain here and watch with me." And going a little farther, he fell on his face and prayed, saying, "My Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will." And he came to the disciples and found them sleeping. He said to Peter, "So, could you not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that you may not enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." Again, for the second time, he went away and prayed, "My Father, if this cannot pass unless I drink it, your will be done." And again he came and found them sleeping, for their eyes were heavy. So leaving them again, he went away and prayed for the 3rd time, saying the same words again. Then he came to the disciples and said to them, "Sleep and take your rest later on. See, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. See, my betrayer is at hand." While he was still speaking, Judas came, one of the 12, and with him a great crowd with swords and clubs from the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now the betrayer had given them a sign, saying, "The one I will kiss is the man. Seize him." And he came up to Jesus at once and said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and he kissed him. Then Jesus said to him, "Friend, do what you came to do." Then he came up and laid hands on Jesus and seized him. And behold, one of those who were with Jesus stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. Then Jesus said to him, "Put your sword back into its place, for all who take the sword will perish by the sword. Do you think that I cannot appeal to my Father, and he will at once send me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then should the scriptures be fulfilled, that I must be so?" And that hour Jesus said to the crowds, "Have you come out as against a robber with swords and clubs to capture me? Day after day I sat in the temple teaching, and you did not seize me. But all this had taken place that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled." Then all the disciples left him and fled. Just real quick, we get an awesome glimpse into the reality of the humanity of Jesus. Not only do we see him ask the Father 3 separate times for another way, but we see him sorrowful and troubled. Jesus is facing the most severe temptation of his life, even though he is about to accomplish the culmination of his life's mission, to bear the sins of the world. But Jesus is dreading what is about to happen. But unlike the disciples, he didn't run for the door. Jesus could have switched campsites so Judas wouldn't find them. Jesus could have disappeared when he saw Judas coming. He could have called down thousands of angels to defend him from being arrested. But he didn't. This is what makes it all the more impressive, that there was, in the end, no question that the Father's will had to take priority, whatever the cost. It's not wrong to be afraid. Fear is a natural human response to when there's danger. The whole world is basically afraid right now. Jesus was afraid, but Jesus, even with all of his authority, knew that the Father's will was the most important thing. Sure, we're going to stay home, but we don't have to be afraid of sickness, and we don't have to be afraid of death, because our hope lies in what Jesus did on the cross just a little while later. So I hope that's encouraging. It was encouraging to me this week, and I hope it's encouraging to you. Thanks.